Thank you for being here today. And welcome to the Town of Hempstead's annual Pathfinder Awards, presented by our Supervisor Don Clavin. Yes, you can applaud. As March is Women's History Month, our township is highlighting the incredible work that women are doing across America's largest township. To begin today's program, I'm proud to introduce one of the most successful women in the nearly 400-year history of the town of Hempstead, Kate Murray. Kate Murray was the first woman to be elected supervisor in the history of the town of Hempstead, serving from 2003 to 2016. Kate was also the first woman elected town clerk and the first woman elected to the New York State Assembly's 19th district. Kate oversaw the building of the town's renewable energy park in Point Lookout, which has become a national model of environmental sustainability, research, and development. She also spearheaded the effort to construct a brand-new, state-of-the-art anchor facility to serve children and adults with special needs. Kate also implemented a number of quality-of-life initiatives, such as the Child and Senior Identification Program, and so much more. Her Passport program recently celebrated 20 years of service to America's largest township. While Kate's day-to-day leadership in town government is without equal, the town of Hempstead is forever indebted to Kate for her service during our community's most difficult times. Kate led our township in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy, making sure that people in need received essential clothing, food, supplies, and shelter from the cold. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when many other municipalities were shutting down their programs and services to the public, Kate reinvented them and made sure that people had continued access to permits, certificates, marriage services, and other essential programs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Town Clerk Kate Murray.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much to Joni Blen, our wonderful mistress of ceremonies today. And Joni herself, she is a Pathfinder Award winner, so thank you so much for all of your years and of hard work and dedication to the Pathfinder Awards ceremony. Thank you, Joni Blen. So on behalf of my good pal, Supervisor Don Clavin, and all of my friends on the Hempstead Town Board, I have the lovely privilege of welcoming each and every one of you here today to today's very, very inspiring ceremony. I love the ceremony. It really is very empowering to me as a woman, and I hope it is to each and every one of you as well. So March, of course, as we all know, is National Women's History Month, and there's no better time to recognize the absolutely incredible achievements and philanthropy of women who call the town of Hempstead their home. Now, today's Pathfinder honorees includes just amongst a few, the founder of a community food pantry. Another Pathfinder you'll hear about is a mother whose daughter with special needs inspired a not-for-profit that creates power wheels for children with disabilities. We also are going to be honoring a Soviet-era refugee who moved to Hempstead Town and went on to provide decades of service to her community, and many, many other incredible women. So throughout the town of Hempstead, our residents are doing super, super amazing things. Recently at Camp Anchor, and I was so glad that I went to this ceremony and this event, we were treated to an unbelievable live report. It was a Q&A from the International Space Station. And who was conducting that Q&A with our Camp Anchor campers, their parents, Camp Anchor staff, and a few of us electeds who were able to join them. But it was astronaut Jasmine Mobley. She is a graduate of Baldwin High School, and even more importantly, from our perspective, she was a volunteer counselor at Camp Anchor. So, and I see Damien here, one of our wonderful Camp Anchor campers, nodding his head. And so Jessica was up in the International Space Station. She had the opportunity, and she's been up there for 9 months now, and she had the opportunity to designate 2 institutions with whom to have this Q&A. She chose MIT, her college from which she graduated, and Camp Anchor, right here in the town of Hempstead. So we were super honored, so delighted. The campers from Camp Anchor were very excited. And there was a gentleman, one of our senior staffers, who actually gave the questions to Jessica, Jasmine, I should say, and but she would identify who asked the question amongst our campers. So it was an absolutely fantastic moment. If you can't figure that out from me, I was so excited to be there. And but she's just one of the women in the town of Hempstead doing marvelous, fantastical things. So also we have Ashley Diaz from Seaford High School and Yana Fufus of Mepham High School. They were 2 of the first female wrestlers, high school wrestlers in New York State, and they won their wrestling championships for New York State. 2 young women. We also, right in my neighborhood, and a young woman who I've known since she was in grade school, having had the opportunity to give her a few awards. Levittown resident, she's a Yale University student, Jacqueline Testemark. She just became a Rhodes Scholar. That is one of only 30 in the entire United States of America. She hails from Levittown. Very, very proud of Jacqueline. And of course, just this year alone, my colleagues and I have attended many grand openings of new businesses. We do that on a weekly basis. And I have to tell you, we have, and I know my colleagues can attest to it as well, we've been to many women-owned businesses. More and more women are getting into business, getting and opening their brick and mortars and doing what they do best, and that is succeed. And so we have been very proud to celebrate with many women-owned businesses throughout the past year. And for any children who might be in the audience today, it's never too young to start making a difference. Last weekend, I joined with my colleagues on the town board and our local Girl Scout troop leaders as they braved a cold, rainy morning. Remember Saturday morning? Wasn't so delightful. Well, we were at the parking lot in Rath Park, and there were lots of Girl Scouts and lots of moms and dads, got to give kudos to them as well, to pick up their Girl Scout cookies in preparation for their annual fundraising efforts. So I would like to also recognize, of course, the great, amazing women with whom I serve on the Hempstead Town Board. In fact, with the election of our newest town board member, this is the first time in nearly a 400-year history here in the town of Hempstead that the female board members outnumber the men. So a great milestone. And don't get me wrong, we love all the men in the audience as well, but this is a milestone worth noting, in my humble opinion. So I want to, at this point, again, welcome each and every one of you, but I also want you to welcome the first African-American woman and longest-serving town board member of 25 years, our Deputy Supervisor, Dorothy Gooseby. Thank you, Dorothy. And while she had a last-minute travail and couldn't join us, I also want to acknowledge and thank our former New York State Assemblywoman and a true advocate for children and adults with special needs. That's our own Councilwoman, Missy Miller. Thank you, Missy. And the woman who tipped the balance with her election in November, she's the newest member of our town board, and she's a fabulous woman, former Lynbrook Village trustee, who's involved in so many civic and charitable organizations, Councilwoman Laura Ryder. And this next woman is a woman who does a near impossible feat, and that is to make receivers of taxes the very favorites of us all. And that, of course, is our receiver of taxes, Janine Driscoll, who runs so many She runs so many innovative and informative tax forums to educate our residents on how to challenge their property assessments and lower the taxes, something that is a hot topic always. And Janine does a fabulous job. And I guess I'm the tiebreaker here, making the makeup of the town board 5 to 4 men. 5 women to 4 men. But now, as I said before, we love the men as well, so it gives me great pleasure to introduce the men on our board as well. Let's welcome Supervisor Don Clavin. I know he's here, he's hovering. There, just a giveaway. And we also have Councilman Chris Carini. And last but certainly not least, we have Councilman Tom Muscarella. So while I joke about the women outnumbering the men, truly, I have to say, all kidding aside, we work together so well as a town board. We really are a team, and it was interesting just, and I'll stop speaking, I know I go on, but recently at our swearing-in ceremony, right, Don? There was a high elected official from another level of government, and we'll leave it at that. But afterwards, she said she was almost in tears because she saw how much we laughed and joked with each other and really got along. She said, "You're really friends, aren't you?" And that is the truth. And so as friends, we get to work together so cooperatively. And bottom line is, if you work together cooperatively, as we know and as we tell our kindergartners, right, cooperation makes the world go round. And it certainly does a good thing for our residents whom we serve each and every day. So as a lifelong resident of the town of Hempstead, I take a great deal of pride in my work, as you all do as well. And it is truly the greatest job in the world to be able to help your residents, help your constituents, help your fellow man, woman, and child, and to celebrate all that we've accomplished. So I just want to congratulate all of our honorees and our keynote speaker as well here today. They are phenomenal women, and without further ado, I am going to ask you to rise and ask our Deputy Supervisor, Dorothy Gooseby, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll get on with the day. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone stand if you can. Hand over heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Dorothy Gooseby, and thank you, Town Clerk Kate Murray, for your inspiring words. Everyone, please be seated as you are. At this time, I am proud to welcome our Town Supervisor, Don Clavin. Don was first elected supervisor in November 2019, after serving 18 years as receiver of taxes. Don was just a few weeks into his first year in office when COVID-19 changed nearly everything about governing a municipality. Whether it was providing personal protection equipment to frontline workers, getting meals to people in need, or setting up testing programs throughout our community, Supervisor Clavin made sure that our town was delivering for our residents. Despite the economic challenges presented by the pandemic and later the rising costs of goods and services, Supervisor Clavin has never raised taxes or cut services in his 4 years on the job. He has invested millions of dollars in upgrades to town infrastructure, parks, and other municipal facilities. Under his leadership, Wall Street has upgraded the town's credit rating to AA, the highest possible. Please welcome Supervisor Don Clavin.
I'm delighted all of you joined us. It's wonderful, and we have such great honorees today. So I'm going to try and keep my comments somewhat brief, but I'll have a little fun along the way. First off, I want to address this comment Kate Murray made about the majority of women being on the board. Let me explain to you something right now, Kate. I'm not intimidated by that. I grew up in a house where I was the youngest with 4 older sisters, so I know what it's all about, all right? I know to take good leadership where it is because I'm blessed. I'm blessed. You know what? I came from a wonderful family, a family of first. My mom was the first woman trustee in Valley Stream. My sister was the first female village justice in Valley Stream. And I look at the people I work with, and it's a season of first. And I think Kate hit on something that's very, very important in my life is my relationship with people. Just like all of your relationships and your accomplishments are all because of your relationships. And look, I work with really nice people, but when you look at the town of Hempstead, this ceremony really is just so important to all of us. We look forward to every year. And I just look at this row of legends I have in the front row that are like family to me. I joke with everybody. Dorothy Gooseby, trailblazer, broke it, took on the system, and won. And she's gone all the way where when I asked my town board colleagues, I said, I know who I want to be my deputy supervisor. And listen, I don't know what your party affiliation, it doesn't really matter to me, because I didn't care when it came to this. Dorothy's a friend, an ally, and somebody who gives me sound advice and opens my eyes up to everything that's going on throughout this region. And when I said to people, Dorothy Gooseby is a trailblazer, and she'd be the first African-American deputy supervisor, if not female supervisor, within 1 second, every one of my colleague board members said, absolutely, what a great choice. And that's a legend that I have right there, and I bless myself for your friendship and your guidance, Dorothy. Thank you very much. And you talk about Laura Ryder. She was a trustee, trailblazing, working, running a business, and I had such a great relationship with her in the village. And when the opportunity came and she expressed a desire to join us in the town board, it was a great addition. And she took it last year running, and she's been nonstop for her services, for everybody in every community, for treatment for people who are suffering mental or health crises. She's really put together in a very simple time such a record. We're very, very fortunate, and I appreciate your friendship as well. So thank you very much, Laura. And ladies, I don't know what Kate Murray's talking about. I was only a receiver of taxes for 19 years. It would make it seem like before Janine Driscoll came, everybody hated the receiver of taxes. I don't know, Kate. No, listen, all joking aside, Janine, wonderful public servant, left the private sector, came here, and as far as I'm concerned, has really delivered. During the pandemic, Janine stepped into that office, and that pandemic broke. And what she did, and then guided other municipalities at how to keep office functions going and help people, and did programs in secure ways, and has continued to do that throughout the town. Where last year, I think in the fall, she did almost 50 tax forms throughout every community in the town just to show people how they are. At the same time, Janine, how many kids do you have? Too many? What did you say? I don't know. What did you say? How many? 5. Janine balances it all. She does it all. Kills it in here and then takes care of her 5 kids. It's a tremendous job. What can I say but thank you very much for your help along the way. Look, and anybody knows who I'm going to say for last. It's like my 5th sister. I met Kate in 2001. 2001, when she was an assemblywoman and I became the receiver and she became the town clerk, it was a quick friendship. And when she ascended to be the first female supervisor in the town of Hempstead, I couldn't have been any more excited and proud. And during her tenure, the things she did, the things she accomplished, it really set the standard. And then when I became supervisor and Kate expressed an interest in coming back from town clerk, I said to myself, it's like 2 for 1. Because I always ask Kate for advice. I always say, Kate, you've done this. What do you think? And Kate, the nicest thing is she's just very honest and sincere. Kate will tell me, Don, I think this is a great idea, or Don, this is the craziest idea in the world. Don't do it, Helen. That's what she'll say to me all the time. But I'm very, very blessed, and I want to say, Kate, thank you for your friendship. And again, for being a woman leading government and leading everyone in here and how things should be done. Thank you very, very much. And that's what today's about, folks. Today's about you're going to hear people who are leading their communities, let it be in the business, education, or in the personal fields. And we're going to recognize them, and I'm delighted all of you really did take the time, because I think it is very, very important. This is one of our favorite programs to run here, and it's great to have such a great turnout. And the woman who's going to lead us as our keynote speaker probably is not a stranger to anybody in here. Helen Chin, the Chinese Center of Long Island, you've been involved with that for almost 30 years, if I remember correctly. 43 years is nothing like being corrected. Thank you very much, Helen. I appreciate that. But that's what it's all about. Helen has been so involved with so many of the programs we've done here in the town of Hempstead. You know, we had a community breakfast the other day where we put together through one of our divisions program where we asked leaders from every community, let it be from Elmont to Seaford, to come on down, and we had a packed house on Saturday morning for the breakfast. And it was great because we think it's very important that everybody feels included in the town of Hempstead. That's a mission that I think Kate has really started, and I've really wanted to work on, that everybody throughout the town feels that they have a voice in the town, they're treated fairly in the town, and we respect everything about them. Let it be their culture, their ancestry, wherever you're from, and we try and do that. And Helen's just been an absolute asset in that. We've run many programs where she's helped put speakers together, helped coordinate it, and she's done a great job. And this year when we were looking for a keynote speaker, it was funny, I said to Kate, I said, what do you think about Helen? And Kate's like, what a great choice, Don. I really like that choice. Even though Kate's probably saying, I told you that 6 months ago, Don. So without further ado, I want to say congratulations to all honorees. We are looking forward to recognizing and celebrating all of you for your wonderful accomplishments. And I will tell everybody, there is a little special one on the board. All right, Helen, I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to hear one at the end that just is a little more personal to me because I have a personal relationship with her. She's a very important person in my life, so you'll hear about her towards the end. So just, maybe you want to applaud for her or not. But with that, if you'll all please welcome Helen Chin, our guest note speaker today. Thank you all for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here and to be invited as a keynote speaker. I have made many speeches, and I normally do not have stage fright because I was a professional workshop presenter for the Board of Education. So when I came in through the back about 2:45, I noticed that there was nobody in the room. I said, oh, maybe I don't have to make a speech after all. Wrong, but that's okay. What I would like to do is talk about the diversity, equity, and inclusion theme of this presentation today. I greet you all. We are all friends, among friends. And how we know this is when we come to the town of Hempstead, there's a feeling. I know we all feel it because we have all participated in all of the many activities, events, festivals, and even some of the disaster relief activities that we've had to do. And we have always found resources within ourselves and our communities. The reason why I'm so pleased to be here today is we do not realize, but we have living role models amongst us today, and they are our distinguished honorees. Let's give them a huge hand. It is truly important to have role models. The role models that emphasize all the values that we think are really important, the role models that we want our children to emulate, to become better people, to create a better society, to create a better community, and the town officials that we have elected and we have really loved are doing exactly that. They are our role models. That's the first tier. The second tier are all of our distinguished honorees who are out there. They have put themselves into positions where they have seen the needs of a community and they have gone after the resources to make it happen for the better. So, the town of Hempstead is the largest town. There are 850,000 residents and growing every day because of the feeling of friendship, solidarity, diversity, equity, and inclusion that is prevalent within the town. We are famous throughout Long Island for having the most diverse and prolific ethnic leadership in Long Island. Festivals, celebrations, toy drives, food drives, and school supply drives are only some of the events led by our diverse town leaders and role models. Earthquakes and natural disasters are addressed by the town and its inhabitants when public assistance is requested from our diverse population. How does this happen? Well, Don Clavin has a special team, and the team is headed by Zahid Syed, who is the Deputy Commissioner of Community Affairs in Hempstead. All of us who are involved in the town will every so often, like every week, receive a phone call. Hi, Helen. Uh-oh, it's Zahid. He wants something. Hi, Zahid. What do you need? Oh, I think you might be interested. We're going to have a toy drive for the kids. Wouldn't you love to come and bring toys for the kids? I said, sure, great, that's not a problem. So I call my group, I call the Chinese Center on Long Island, and we get busy and we start collecting all kinds of toys, and we have a huge box, and we have a small building. We have a huge box that's all filled with toys and everything. So we're getting ready to bring the toys over to the town for distribution. Betty, our president, goes over there, and the toys are missing. The box is empty. Why are they empty? What happened to the toys? Where are they? Who stole them? Well, it seems as though the Chinese school children had a party, and they thought they were for them. So they helped themselves. And needless to say, Betty had to make a mad dash and take some money out of the treasury and spend a few $100s replacing the toys. So at least they got our share. So that was great. We don't mind. Things happen, right? So what happens is that sometimes when we look at our role models, and this is what I'm talking about, today you're going to hear the resumes and the bios, the biographies of all of these deserving ladies and distinguished honorees. So what is going to happen? I want you to listen very carefully, because when you listen, you will find out how they did what they had to do, and you will hear what obstacles they may have had to overcome. Some of the things that may have been asked are the following questions when they decided to go on this path to advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? You're a woman. Don't you know your place? Shouldn't you be home to raise your children? My mother-in-law asked me that one. You are a minority. No one's going to listen to you. Are these questions familiar? Yes. These brave women found a way, found the means, and found mentors to help them to accomplish their goals of creating a better community. At times, in one's own culture, there are obstacles that are unexpected which can stop a person from achieving their life's work. I grew up in Brooklyn. I am one of 5 children of 2 Chinese immigrants that had a Chinese hand laundry. I never lived in an apartment until I was 19, 6 months before I moved out to get married. And we did not have a lot of money. And I was 16 in Brooklyn, and I was graduating from high school, from Bay Ridge High School, when one of the teachers said to me, "What are you going to do after high school?" I said, "I don't know." So she said, "You're smart, you should go to school." Well, I went home and I told my mother and my father what they said. Now you have to understand something. When my mother heard that I should go to college, this is what she said to me. "You're 16. Why don't you go and find a job and work for 2 years? And then why don't you go find somebody and get married?" I said, "Oh." I didn't say anything. But you know what the answer was? The answer was no. I was not going to go to college. My father, who wasn't able to support even the family we had and living in the back of the laundry, he said, "Don't worry, I'll support you." And he did a very good thing. He found me a job. I had a job working all day Saturday and all day Sunday from 9 to 5 in a Chinese gift shop in Chinatown. And I also had two other part-time jobs. I worked in the public library, and I worked as a cashier in the Chinese restaurant. Well, I was very lucky. At that time, City University, City College of the City of New York, I was able to get into the program, and it was free tuition. I wish to God they had never put tuition in, because every person in the world deserves a free college education. So I was able to go to college. I also married Jimmy Chin. Now, I have to tell you a story I was going to tell you without him here. But since he's here, I'm going to embarrass him and tell the story. He may be mad at me later. When we had two children, we had a little boy and a little girl. And Sherry, when she was little, Jimmy said, she's not going to go away to college when she grows up. I said, really? He said, yes. So I said, guess what? Darren's not going to go to college either, away. So he said nothing. So when the time came, Sherry went to Stanford University in California, and Darren went to University of Pennsylvania in Pennsylvania. So I think I had a little influence. So it's quite important to learn about the struggles which our honorees had to overcome to become the pathfinders that they are. They are our role models, and they are also our mentors. Listen carefully to their biographies. We're going to learn all about their experiences, and we have to learn from them. What we can do is look at the great work our honorees have done and become mentors to others around us. We ourselves are mentors, as well as everybody else in this room, because our children, our families, our friends, they all look at us. They watch what we do. They watch what we say. And because we are living in such a great community, I know that this town has a really great background. So I thank you all for allowing me to make this little speech. And let's give a standing ovation to all our distinguished honorees, town officials, and ourselves for making Hempstead a great place of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Please stand. Give them a big, big hand. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about another round of applause for our keynote speaker, Helen Chin. She did an amazing job. She always does. Thank you, Helen. I would be remorse if I did not recognize one of our council people that came in just a little bit after the gun and program, and that's our councilman and our Marine, Dennis Dunn. Thank you, Dennis. With that, I'm going to proudly turn the program back over to Joni. Joni's promised to pronounce everyone's name correctly. No flubs, right, Joni?
No problem.
That's why they don't let me do it, ladies and gentlemen, because all I do is do it wrong. So with that, I want to say thank you, really, thank you all again for taking time out of your busy day. A lot of you stepped out of your offices, stepped out of your regular jobs to come here to recognize these really important women for our Pathfinder Awards. I also, again, want to congratulate each and every one of you, and I want to thank you all and say God bless you and God bless America. Thank you all. Joni, it's yours.
Now it's time for the Women of the Hour. I will read a short bio for each of you honorees. At the conclusion of your bio, please join Supervisor Clavin at the front of the podium to receive your award. Our first honoree is a natural and organic pathfinder. Hempstead resident Mary Crossan is the commissioner of the Hempstead Community Garden located at Kennedy Park. She selflessly volunteers her free time to caretake the garden to ensure its growth and successful produce. Mary is on a mission to teach the community, especially the younger generation, the importance of growing your own vegetables without any harmful chemicals or pesticides. Ms. Crossan has provided the local community with fresh, homegrown food for over 9 years, just through the garden alone. She educates the neighborhood by comparing supermarket-bought produce to the delectable vegetables and fruits she nurtures and grows in the local community. Before actually giving her goods to local residents, Mary informs them of the health benefits and quality of life people can obtain through consuming organic and natural foods. Last summer, her successful harvest fed well over 300 people in the neighborhood. With her mission revolved around educating residents on how to be self-sufficient, she's succeeding with one vegetable at a time. Her passionate advocacy of bettering the neighborhood does not stop there. Mary has diligently fought for affordable housing and equality in health care for people of all ages for many years throughout the community. She also championed for higher academic standards for underserved areas throughout Hempstead. Mary has devoted so much of her time to improve the quality of life in Hempstead Town, which is why she is receiving the 2024 Pathfinder Award today. Introducing Mary Ann Adrian. This lifelong Levittown resident may sound familiar with her vital role in Levittown's School District Board of Education, as she passionately advocates to expand enrichment opportunities for students, which she derives from being a mother of 3. The list of achievements Mary Ann has accomplished would take up the whole program. But, to name a few, she has spearheaded the efforts of renovating various school facilities, repaving school parking lots, upgrading driver's ed vehicles, and much more. But her fight for bettering schools is just the beginning of her achievements. Mary Ann has been providing support to Honorary Norman St. George, the first Deputy Chief Administrative Judge in the New York State Courts since 2013, and is currently serving as the Principal Administrative Assistant. Prior to this, Mary Ann served as an Executive Assistant at Queensborough Community College. Her history of various jobs, from being a senior flight attendant at North American Airlines to being a product manager for a travel tour operator, showcases her wide range skill set and her ability to take on anything she sets her mind to. She is continuing her educational journey by pursuing her bachelor's degree after earning her associate's in science from SUNY Empire State, which is a true inspiration. Her engagement with the community is one to be recognized. Aside from serving as trustee in the Levittown Board since 2015, she is also the president of the Kiwanis Club of Levittown. Just this week, Mary Ann was recently voted in as the Kiwanis Long Island South Central Lieutenant Governor-elect for the 24-25 term. Congratulations on this huge milestone. She is also a co-founder of the Levittown Education Foundation and volunteers in her free time for a number of local organizations. Mary Ann exudes the meaning of multifaceted pioneer, and it is in fitting recognition that she receives the 2024 Pathfinder Award in the town of Hempstead. And now, introducing Tatiana Adamovich. Tatiana Adamovich, also known as Tanya, is a distinguished figure in the Freeport community, having left a lasting impression for over 50 years. Born in 1942 in the Soviet Union, Tanya and her family faced tremendous obstacles due to the social and political unrest of World War II. Tanya's remarkable journey began to unfold at age 14 when a knee injury redirected her from track and field to the world of fencing. This ultimately led her to the 1972 Olympics, where she excelled, defeating the future Olympic champion. After immigrating to the United States in 1968, Tanya earned a master's degree from Adelphi University in physical education. A 1973 U.S. champion, she later transitioned to coaching at Adelphi, C.W. Post, Pace University, and the Portledge School. Tanya's influence extends beyond the local community, with former students like Michael Lofton achieving Olympic success. In 1998, the International Olympic Committee recognized Tanya with the Golden Rings Award for her significant contributions to Olympic athletics. Now, at 81 years old and residing in Belmore, Tanya continues to share her expertise at the Freeport Recreation Center, emphasizing the value of instructing both children and adults in the art of fencing. Her endearing passion for the sport, combined with a legendary status in the broader fencing world, solidifies her place among the 2024 Town of Hempstead Pathfinder Award recipients. Unfortunately, our next honoree, Sasha Young of Inwood, was unable to attend today, but please indulge me while I read her bio. Most Town of Hempstead residents have heard of the Five Towns Community Center, and many have utilized its many programs and services. But we're not sure how many people know about one woman who has been working quietly behind the scenes for many years to make it all possible. That woman is Sasha Young. Sasha founded Gammy's Pantry in 2018, providing food and clothing to residents in need throughout Nassau County. The facility, named for Sasha's grandmother, became an essential community resource during the COVID-19 pandemic, collaborating with Long Island Cares, Trader Joe's, and the Rock and Wrap It Up organization. Sasha also started Gammy's Garden, educating children and adults on how to grow fruits and vegetables and maintain their own community gardens. What's more, she created an after-school education and recreation program for local youth. Beyond the community center, Sasha has been directly involved in the revival of the local Police Activity League, which now offers sports, robotics classes, arts and crafts, dance, and many other programs. Sasha also worked with local and state officials to offer training in the use of Narcan, EpiPens, and other emergency tools. In fact, in 2020, she was directly involved in a rescue when a woman visiting the food pantry suddenly suffered from a heart attack. Trained in CPR, Sasha immediately sprang into action, buying the woman precious time until medics arrived. For her dedication to changing lives and saving lives, the Town of Hempstead is proud to present Sasha Young with the Town of Hempstead Pathfinder Award. We'd just like to welcome Mike Enrico, President of the Town of Hempstead CEA, Local 880. Mike? Mike Errico. Okay, there you go. I couldn't read it. Sorry about that. Okay, now we'll continue. Introducing Nancy Baxter. Nancy Baxter is no stranger to the Oceanside community. Some may remember her as a kindergarten teacher's aide in the early 2000s, guiding the younger generation in the right direction. Nancy serves as a youth coordinator and recreation assistant in the Oceanside Union School District as she continues to mold and shape the youth of tomorrow. Her vital role in greatly assisting various children's clubs allows her to educate the students on leadership roles through serving the community. Many are also familiar with Nancy Baxter for the extensive volunteer work she has done with the Oceanside Kiwanis Club for a number of years. Just last month, Nancy ventured off to Albany for the annual New York Kiwanis District Mid-Year Conference. One of her most notable achievements was obtaining the title as the first woman president of the Oceanside Kiwanis Club, and she held that significant position for 4 years straight. She now holds the title of the Super Distinguished Past Lieutenant Governor of the Long Island Southwest Kiwanis District, and she certainly lives up to that name. Just last month, the Oceanside Kiwanis hosted their annual pancake breakfast fundraiser, which drew in another great success. All proceeds go to Camp Kiwanis and other children-focused events and clubs that take place in the local community, such as their upcoming Kiwanis Egg Hunt. From her volunteer work as a fellow Kiwanian or her significant role in the school district, Nancy Baxter's heavy involvement with the community displays the positive impacts she creates wherever she goes. It is an honor to recognize Nancy Baxter during the 2024 Pathfinder Awards ceremony. Our next honoree, Marlene Natali from West Hempstead. Marlene is no stranger to the community and even our elected officials. Marlene Natali has left an imprint on many during her teaching voyage, including Councilman Muscarella, whom she taught in high school. From bringing Sewanaka cheerleaders to their first competition and summer camps, to being inducted into the Hewlett House Hall of Fame for all her volunteer work, Marlene Natali is a true pathfinder. Marlene has emphasized that her main goal is to provide accessible resources to students. A few ways Marlene has achieved this is through free tutoring throughout the community in lower-income areas and creating various educational programs. Such was the Math and Reading program, which allowed students to select books of their choice, which was followed by a related math lesson. Another initiative Marlene spearheaded was a conference called Expanding Your Horizons, which exposed Carl Place Middle School girls to an all-female panel discussion consisting of women in careers ranging from healthcare to accounting. This allowed students to freely ask questions to jumpstart their interests in their future career paths. Marlene is a true pioneer, and her list of accomplishments doesn't stop there. From bringing 398 students to a Mets game just last year to organizing field trips to NYIT for her students, Marlene's motto has always been, "It's all about the kids." And her service to the community has showcased just that. That's why we are honored to recognize Marlene Natali with the 2024 Pathfinder Award. Our next honoree is Gabrielle Graffio. The unbreakable brook must have one unshakable mother, and Gabrielle Graffio of Levittown clearly is that mother. When Gabrielle, known by Gigi, brought her daughter Brooke into the world in April of 2019, Brooke came out swinging. Weighing in at a mean 4 pounds, 13 ounces, Brooke was born 6 weeks prematurely. When Brooke started to develop a lacy appearance to her skin, she was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder that is commonly associated with seizures, developmental delays, and scoliosis. Later that year, Brooke was also diagnosed with epilepsy and polymicrogyria. Brooke kept on battling through her early years in life, leading Gigi and her husband, Bo, to spend their first Christmas together in the hospital. When Christmas came around the second time, the family was able to celebrate at home and wanted to make it as special as possible for Brooke. Lo and behold, the legacy of Unbreakable Brooke began. They got to work constructing a power wheel vehicle specific to Brooke that provided support for her to sit comfortably. Sharing this creation on social media, it went viral, with tons of parents in similar situations who wanted a vehicle for their own child. From this, the Unbreakable Brooke Foundation was created to help youngsters like Brooke be a kid and have fun. Led by Gigi and Bo, the Unbreakable Brooke Foundation aims to sponsor at least one family per month with a modified power wheel car as part of the Unbreakable Brooke's Little Heroes Power Mobility Program. Gigi spends her time advocating and helping other families with medically complex children in the difficult world of being a special needs parent. She enjoys spreading positive vibes and encourages positivity wherever she goes. Just take a look at her TikTok. For her unbreakable dedication to helping families with medically complex problems, we are proud to award Gabrielle Graffio with the 2024 Town of Hempstead Pathfinder Award. I'd like to preface the next bio by saying I didn't write it. I'm just the messenger. Please don't shoot me. Kathy Milone of Seaford, a friend of mine. There comes a time when someone leaves us, even though you begged them not to, and we mean literally begged. But while we congratulate Kathy Milone on her recent retirement, today we are proud to celebrate the work she has done throughout America's largest township. Kathy Milone got her start by working in the town clerk's office until an eager receiver of taxes poached her for his office. She went on to work with this oddball receiver of taxes for the majority of her career until that oddball receiver of taxes decided to pursue higher office by running for the town of Hempstead supervisor. And this is where the fun began. Kathy demonstrated an admirable ability to remain calm under stressful situations and an impressive skill to juggle multiple projects at once. She served dutifully as the supervisor's right-hand woman for more than 4 years and did so with a genuine smile. While handling the ins and outs of executive work, Kathy spent her not-so-free time listening to people's problems and offering them insightful advice on what they should do next. But her warm, welcoming smile was a joy to everyone at Town Hall. For her unrequited kindness, impressive work ethic, and dedication to her position, we are proud to award Kathy Milone with the 2024 Town of Hempstead Angie M. Cullen Pathfinder Award.
for everybody for coming. But why don't we ask all of our honorees to come up so we can all salute them together. All of our honorees, please stand up in front. Let's hear it for all of our honorees, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming out today. Congratulations again.